Auferstanden aus Ruinen und der Zukunft zugewandt. Yes, I'm looking at East German cars again, and once more I am looking at another model of the Trabant. Last time I looked at this model from Welly, which is a pretty well-known company, and last time I'm pretty sure I said this is closer to 160, but man was I wrong. So I did the numbers actually, and this is actually close. This is 160, 146, 147. So this thing, man, it's just humongous. I obviously still think it's a very good-looking vehicle. Don't get me wrong. I really like the colors. I think the production quality is pretty good. But actually, yeah, it's got plastic wheels. I'm just making sure because I'll explain why in a bit. But give me 1 second so I can check my YouTube page to see who it is. Yes, the worst. Again, I need to give a shout out to the worst YouTube channel ever. That's the channel name. I need to make sure. I need to read it out just to be perfectly sure what it actually is. I talked to him a lot on Reddit, and he recommended some of the East German car manufacturers of East German die-cast cars. And one of the companies he mentioned is Grell. And I bought these pair of vehicles that I'm going to show up next. And they ship all the way from Croatia, and they arrive much, much sooner than I expected. So we have another Trabant. Notice the difference? Yeah. So I did the numbers on this one. This is technically a 1959 Trabant P50. And I did the numbers on this one, and it's a 155 scale. So this thing is still too big to be 160. So I 164. So I just can't imagine, how tiny this car is supposed to be in real life, and that's just crazy to me. Because if I put it right next to a Z car, yeah, I guess this should be a lot smaller, right? With some of those not quite 164 scale cars, are just very hard to tell. And the other car that came with it is a Barkas van. Barkas, again, is an East German company. Excuse me. So, yeah, these two are, this one is actually an actual 164, which I was actually surprised to find out, and I'm very happy. These two vehicles are manufactured by Grell, and this is second-hand, so I didn't expect it to be in great condition, but it's actually pretty good. Let's look at the Trabant first. It's got a front light temple, pretty nice, very basic, but it's good to have. It's got side temples. It says Freiwillige Feuerwehr, which means volunteer firefighting. It doesn't have any backlight temple, unfortunately. It's the same writing on the other side. Very nicely printed. It's got it's somewhat detailed, but as far as printing goes, it's very plain. It says Grell. It also says something else. Oh, Grell model, and it says China, and that's literally all there is. Got a metal body, plastic base, and what's interesting is that it actually has rubber tires. I was so surprised when I got them. So this is very cool, and it's definitely going into my premium collection. I know this is probably not considered a premium by Grell, or it is. I don't know much about Grell. It's one of those niche companies that a few people have ever heard of. And it also got the siren on top, although it seems a little loose. I don't want to play too much with it. These feel pretty light, by the way. I know this is small, but this feels pretty heavy. But this one almost feels as heavy as this one. But this is the Barkas van, and it's proper 164. Again, it says Feuerwehr, which means, and it has the white stripe going all the way back. Although I guess you can count this backlight temple, right? Because it's red anyway. And it has a Feuerwehr, which doesn't say volunteer; it just means fire brigade or firefighters. And I did some. The base says the same thing basically, and again, rubber tires. I did some more Wikipediaing regarding the Trabant, which apparently it's a terrible car. It's very unreliable, not very safe. and the engines is super inefficient and super bad for the pollution for the environment. But according to Wikipedia, the Barkas van is reputed to be super reliable. That's something. But there's not too much going on with these cars, you know. It's not like a racing car. There's not a lot to compare them to. The production quality is pretty good, again, considering I got them secondhand. Some of those paint chips, I think, probably came from its previous owner. But overall, I'd say they arrived in very well condition. I remember seeing a paint chip somewhere on this car, but I can't even find it now. But I think they're just really cool to have. Again, part of my nostalgia collection, the nostalgia for East Germany. So that's all I have to say for the Grell East German firefighting pair, and thank you for watching.